We're getting into a music discussion here during the commercial break. Is it just because we take great pride in our era of music, so you fight for it? If your kids want to talk about their music, they're going to tell you, oh, man, One Direction, they're awesome. Taylor Swift. And I'm going to say, come on, listen to some Stones here. Listen to The Who. Yeah, there you go. Even Aerosmith. Yeah, Paulie.
Question for you and Seton. What's the most popular band right now that's also really good and well-respected as musicians?
Radiohead, Coldplay.
Those guys are like a decade into their career.
But they're still playing.
What about like Mumford and Sons, maybe?
Yeah.
They're pretty respected.
Well, they put out 2 CDs.
They basically put out the exact same CD twice.
Yeah. So they put out 2 CDs. Is that longevity?
No, more so I'm asking what's like popular that someone under 20 might be listening to and is good.
Maybe The National? They might not be quite that popular, but...
Who? Grizzly Bear?
Grizzly Bear's a good band.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you'll hear songs from an artist, but it's rare when you'll hear an entire CD and go, that's pretty special. I think that's the difference.
Well, when I was a teenager, you would find out about a band and you would get their CD or their album, and then you would basically just buy everything from that record label's catalog. So you would find like one band from a label that you liked, and then you knew, well, if I like this band, then I'm probably going to like everything else on that label. And you would just buy albums from bands that you never even heard of, and it was sort of a hit or miss kind of thing.
Well, you would take a chance.
Yeah.
Now with music, you don't take a chance. You're not even buying a CD. You're buying a song. You're downloading it from iTunes. Nobody's invested in this long term. That's part of the problem. Because if a band came up like the Stones or Zeppelin or Who or whoever you want to throw out from the 60s and 70s, would the music industry be invested in them? Would their music be different? Because there are a lot of stuff that these guys wrote that wasn't good. But then there were some things where you looked at and you went and you listened to and you went, that's different. And those songs last. That's what's amazing. What music lasts? That's why I always say to my kids, even Dave Matthews, okay, still popular, but he's not putting out CDs that are popular. He's touring and he's popular. Jimmy Buffett, touring and making a ton of money. Now, Taylor Swift is going to write hits. And she can tour, and, she's banking $100 million on this tour. But I think it's more the tour than it is the actual music itself, the CDs that people are buying. All you need is 1 or 2 hits. I mean, does Rihanna have big albums, CDs? Or does she have like 5 or 7 hits that are, you can have a concert and build it around? Yeah, Paulie.
You guys think we romanticize sports and music the same way? Like the bands from our teens are great. Everything now stinks. And sports, I could name the lineup of the Bears from '85, but I don't know them now. And college basketball is better 25 years ago than it is now. Is that real? Or
what is good now? What is better now than 25 years ago, 30 years ago with music? What's better now?
Same thing with sports. What's better now? What sport is in better shape in your head?
Well, you have sports that are in better shape.
In your opinion, not like a...
Well, no, the NBA was dying. The NBA was on tape delayed. The NBA finals were on tape delayed. That's different. Baseball, smaller markets are doing better. Football, look at, everybody's a billionaire there. So the leagues have flourished. Are the players better? That's a great debate there. But as far as music goes, I don't think it's even close. Music from the 60s and 70s dominates. You want to throw in the 50s in there, but there's nothing else that compares to it. You give me the 60s and 70s, I'll give you every other decade. Yes, Eden.
It's sort of there might be a parallel between music and sports in that the access to both has gotten huge, but the experience of each has changed. That may not necessarily, I don't know if it's better or worse. I mean, music, you would get an album and you would go through the liner notes, and you would like get the get the feel of the paper and how it smelled, and you'd read all the lyrics and all that stuff. You don't do that anymore because you don't have that same experience. But you can get music anywhere you want. I've got 50,000 albums on my iPhone. You have access to everything you want.
You can listen to it. I like that you have access to be able to listen to all of this. You can have a music library in your hand, which is great. But as far as these artists now, who's the kid who sang Catch a Grenade for you?
Bruno Mars.
His CD, there's 7 hits off of that. Now, that guy's an entertainer. He's got lasting power. I mean, he's really good. He's talented.
But his thing is that he's sort of a throwback.
Yes. I mean, there's a Prince feel to him, I guess. And, but that's okay. Lenny Kravitz made a career doing that with Jimi Hendrix. If you can do it, fine. If somebody wants to come along and try to be like the Stones or Zeppelin or Who or any of those bands, I'm fine with that. This kid, Philip Phillips, he's knocking off Dave Matthews. Okay. Zach Brown Band, listen to them, and they sound a lot like Jimmy Buffett. Okay. If you can do it and you still bring back those memories of those guys, and look, if you want to rip off somebody, you sample somebody, it's okay. Still very good bands. Man, I got sidetracked here. I get passionate about this.